Hello everyone, my name is Naomi, aka Nifty Nomi, and welcome to my channel, Be That Business. I'm a Canadian bookkeeper and a new business educator, and I help entrepreneurs look under the hood to see how it all works. I'm fighting the good fight against double work and against giving CRA more money than you have to. Welcome to today's video newsletter. If you prefer to read your newsletters, I do have a link to the transcript in the comments below and also a sign-up link to the newsletters moving forward. On to today's newsletter. Hello! Welcome to December 29th, 2023. In this newsletter, what's due at the end of December, my 3 favorite resources for December, and what due dates are coming up in January. What's due at the end of December? If your business is incorporated and you owed greater than $3,000 in corporate income tax for the previous fiscal year, then it is required to pay installments for next year on the last day of every month. And December 31st is the due date for the December 31st corporate tax installment. For more information, there's a link in the notes. Now, though there are no other standard items due at the end of this month, be aware that if your sales tax filing is monthly, November's GST/HST filing and remittance is due on December 31st. If your sales tax quarterly filing is on a different schedule because of a corporate fiscal year end date that is not standard, then the GST/HST for the quarter September to November would be due December 31st. Also, if your corporate fiscal year end is in June, your corporate tax return is due 6 months after your fiscal year end, which is December 31st. And if your corporate year end is October, the income tax payable is payable either 2 or 3 months after the fiscal year end, either due at the end of December or the end of January, depending on your corporation. So you'll want to check with your accountant to find out more about your corporate tax due dates specific to your corporation. Now, I keep saying these things are due on December 31st, but December 31st falls on a weekend, and then you've got January 1st, which is a holiday. So technically, January 2nd is when these December 31st due dates are technically due. And I do have a link in the comments where CRA refers to that due date or public holiday date. Now we move on to my 3 favorite resources for December. These are things that other people have created that I'd like to share with you. So 2024 and 2023, they have a lot of change in them. And so that is the theme of the 3 resources that I'm sending out to you today. Number 1, there are new changes for the 2023 T4s. You'll be beginning to work on the 2023 T4s probably this month. They are due February 28th, 2024. And so it's important to know what employers need to know about the new changes to the T4s and the T4A reporting requirements for the 2023 year. When filing the 2023 T4, employers must indicate whether the employee or any of their family members were eligible to access dental care insurance or coverage. MNP has a great article on this, and that is the first resource for December, and a link to MNP's article on more about this is down in the description. The second resource is about the CEBA repayment deadline on January 18th. What are your options? CFIB put out a great article on the options that are available to businesses, and again, that is linked down in the description. And my third resource for this month is from Yahoo Finance, the top changes that will affect your business taxes in 2024. Yahoo Finance rounded up some of the other changes, other than the 2 just mentioned, that will affect entrepreneurs and businesses in 2024. From the new trust return to the changes in CPP, they have pulled the many announcements together along with a list of resources that can help you manage these changes. And you can find out more, again, in the link in the description. What resources have you found that have helped you start, run, or grow your business? Feature it and a call out to your business in our next resources newsletter. Finally, let's cover what due dates are coming up in January. Now is the time to prep your January business calendar. #BeThatBusiness that is organized. Here are some January due dates that might affect your business. If you have employees, January 15th is the due date for your payroll source deductions relating to December's payroll if you don't have that automatically done for you by your payroll service provider. The deadline to repay the balance of the SEBA loan to be eligible for the 33% loan forgiveness, up to $20,000, is that due date is January 18th, 2024. I do have a link in the description to CRA's website for more information. Now, if you do have employees, then you're likely registered for provincial workplace insurance, such as WCB or WSIB. Now, WCB in some provinces is due monthly and is due on the 15th. In Ontario, WSIB is due quarterly, and the workplace insurance for the employee earnings from October to December are due on January 31st. If you're self-employed and in the construction industry, you may need to pay it on your labor even if you have no employees. If you file your GST/HST on a quarterly basis and your year ends on December 31st, then your October to December 2023 GST/HST quarter is due to be filed and paid at the end of January. Now, even if you don't have all the funds, file your return on time to not waste money on late filing penalties. Remember, don't give CRA more money than you have to. If you file your GST/HST annually, but last year your GST/HST payable was greater than $3,000, then you are required to pay quarterly installments, and the last of these GST/HST installments is due to be paid on January 31st. A link to more information in the description. If you file your GST/HST monthly, then your December 2023 GST/HST is due on January 31st. Now, if you're in a province that has PST, make note of what your PST due date is, as it might also be quarterly, like GST. If you offer hotel or B&B accommodations, you may be in a jurisdiction that has MAT tax or municipal accommodation tax, and your MAT tax may be due at the end of January. MAT taxes are sometimes due monthly and they're sometimes due quarterly. If your business is incorporated and owed greater than $3,000 in corporate income tax for the previous fiscal year, then it is required to pay installments for next year on the last day of every month. And January 31st is the due date for the January corporate tax installment. Though there are no other standard items due at the end of January, be aware that if your corporate fiscal year end is July, your corporate tax return is due 6 months after your fiscal year end, so that would be January 31st. If your corporate year end is November, the income tax payable is due 2 or 3 months after the fiscal year end, either due at the end of January or February, depending on your corporation. Check with your accountant to find out more about your corporate tax due dates specific to your corporation. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm on Instagram at BeThatBusiness, and you can tweet at me, X at me, whatever. I'm at NiftyNomi, and I'm also at NiftyNomi on Twitch and TikTok. And you can find resources and courses about running a Canadian business on my website, naomiwilkins.ca. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter. Created to be interesting and useful, the Be That Business newsletter is twice monthly, on the 14th of every month and on the 29th, looking to help share amazing hacks and resources to help your business thrive. The video today was recorded in beautiful Gananoque, Ontario. Thanks for watching, and get out there and be that business that thrives.